Hello everyone, this is chapter 6 part 7. We're still talking about elasticity. Right now we are going to look at the relationship between elasticity and total revenue. This is a very important relationship. When we say elasticity, we are still talking about price elasticity of demand, and there is a direct relationship between total revenue and price elasticity of demand. So if you know if the product you're selling has elastic demand, inelastic demand, etc., you actually don't need to change the price. You can know what's going to happen to your total revenue. We'll talk about that. But before we get started, let me grab a different color pen. Alright, elasticity and total revenue. Why should we care about price elasticity of demand? Because total revenue, I'm going to just write it down here again, price times quantity demanded. Okay, or quantity sold. So law of demand says if you increase the price, quantity demanded is going to go down. So imagine these two, price increase and quantity demand decrease, as two forces. Which one is going to win determines whether your total revenue is going to go down, go up, maybe no change. Okay, so what is the what rule is going to tell us the bottom line? Well, if you know the price elasticity of demand, you can tell what's going to happen to your total revenue when you change the price. So when price goes up, quantity demanded goes down, law of demand. Therefore, what's going to happen to total revenue is ambiguous. That's why I put up, down, no change, or it's a question mark. It may go up, down, or stay the same. You don't know what's going to happen. So if the price increase, initial price increase, is more than the decrease in quantity demanded. So price increase, I'm going to put two arrows, right? Price increase, two arrows, stronger in absolute value than a decrease in quantity demanded. In this case, one force is pulling your total revenue up stronger than the other force, which is pulling it down. So as a result, total revenue will go up actually. Okay, so what if we have some other case, price is increasing, but the magnitude of the increase in price is less than the drop in quantity demanded. Let me just draw it, sorry. So price has gone up, but quantity demanded responded to this stronger. So in absolute value, decrease in quantity demanded is very strong. So look, one arrow pulling your total revenue up, two arrows pulling it down. These arrows, I'm putting them totally randomly, okay? So just to show you the magnitudes. So one force is pulling your total revenue down, other force is pulling it up just a little bit. As a result, total revenue will go down. So price increase, bottom line is, when you increase the price, you don't always get higher total revenue. If you remember the barbershop example, okay, at first remember, price of haircut was $10, then you increase it to $20. Here your total revenue has gone up because in this part you had relatively inelastic demand. We'll talk about that. P2. Then you further increase price to $30. Your total revenue from 30 to 20 was constant. You had unit elastic. I'm just reminding you. You can go back and look. Then you further increase the price to $40 from 30 to 40. Your total revenue ended up dropping. Why did this happen? Because you had elastic demand. Okay, the price was already high. Okay, you're increasing even further quantity demanded. Your customers were running away from you. Total revenue went down, and you have because you had an elastic demand. Okay, so let's consider different scenarios. I'm going to erase this part real quick. Let's say you have a company, you're thinking about increasing the price of the product you sell, and demand as the product is elastic. Okay, so you're increasing the price, quantity demanded is gonna go down. Which one will win though? Okay, which force will win? If demand is elastic, that means any price change, quantity demanded responds more violently. Okay, that's the word I'm using, violently. It's not violent, but strongly. So in magnitudes, I'm talking about absolute values, quantity demanded decrease will be larger than the initial increase in the price. This is the elasticity definition. So your total revenue will go down as a result. So when you have elastic demand, increasing price is not a good option. Let's go with it. I put the TVs here because TVs are large items, many substitutes to Sony brand. It has elastic demand. So if you increase the price, percent change in price, that's a positive change, you increase the price, is less than an absolute value percent change in quantity demanded drop, which is a negative change. So if this negative force is stronger, when I put this greater sign, I'm trying to tell you it's a stronger force, then total revenue will go down. So if demand is elastic, price, you increase the price for the product you're selling, you are going to see lower total revenue. What if we're talking about inelastic demand? So let's say we're talking about food in general. Okay, I put the food in general. Obviously this is missing some food items, for instance meat, but it doesn't matter. So this picture represents, let's say, food in general. Demand for food is inelastic. That means you increase the price, in this case people will respond, but not by much. So increase in price is a positive change, pulling your total revenue up. At the same time, as a response to this, quantity demanded is going down, pulling your total revenue down. But because the subsequent drop in quantity demanded is not as strong as the initial increase, your total revenue will increase in this case. So if you're selling, that's why price of gas stations, increase the price of gas. Remember, price elasticity was so small, it was negative 0.00 something, which means even if you double the price of gas, the quantity demanded will only go down by like 6%. That's nothing. So if the product you sell has inelastic demand, price of the product goes up, quantity demand goes down just a tiny bit. As a result, 100% price increase, we said 6% quantity demand. As a result, total revenue. So those gas stations actually end up making more money when the price of gas goes up. So if the demand is inelastic, increasing price indeed increases the total revenue. So let me ask you something. Before you decide on increasing price, what should you look at? You should think about the demand for the product. Is it elastic or inelastic? If the demand is inelastic, yes, you have made a good choice. You're going to see higher total revenue. But if you increase the price and the demand is elastic for your product, sorry, you're going to see reduced sales and total revenue. Let's consider another scenario, decrease in price. Okay, so you're thinking about decreasing the price. Let me just tell you, decreasing price will not always cause a drop in your total revenue. Price decrease doesn't always cause total revenue to go down. Let me tell you an example. George Foreman grill. George Foreman is a former pro boxer. He sells these sloped, I'm just gonna call it sloped grills. The grill has a slope. You put the meat here, you cook it, like you close it up. Okay, my drawing is horrible. You put a little plastic tray, fat, accumulates here. What happened, let me tell you this example. I used to see this small size of George Foreman grill for $15. I never bought it. Okay, probably I valued it less than $15. So one day I saw it price was marked down to $7. I bought one. I was still at the grocery store in Texas. We have a grocery store which is called HEB, and in this grocery store I bought it at $7 and I was going back and forth between aisles. I was like, oh my gosh, it was all gone within an hour. It's amazing. So basically, they dropped the price. Their quantity demanded probably went up like insane. So in this case, they may not be losing money. Okay, total revenue may actually go up in George Foreman grill sales. Okay, so demand, let's consider different cases of demand elasticity. Let's say demand is elastic and you decide to drop the price. Is this a good option? Let's see. This is an Aston Martin. This is my favorite car, Aston Martin DB9. I don't think I'll ever afford it, but you know, hey, one can only dream. I'm gonna put a heart. Okay, let's get back. So Aston Martin DB9, I checked the price. It was like $208,000, something like that. Okay, so demand is elastic, but let's not think about Aston Martin, but cars in general. Okay, if the demand is elastic, if you drop the price, so you drop the price, the initial drop in price will be faced with a huge response and increase in quantity demanded. So if you look at total revenue, this example applies. So car dealerships are dropping the price of cars by, let's say, $2,000. You know, we start seeing these incentives around August every year for next year's car models. So $2,000 drop in, you know, this luxury car. What happens is that quantity demanded increases by a huge percentage. So initial price drop was actually overkill. The eventual increase in quantity demanded actually overcomes the initial drop in price. We're talking about percentage terms. As a result, your total revenue will go up. So if the demand is elastic, you're dropping the price, total revenue will go up. This is what you want to do, car dealerships. Okay, so it happens with bananas. I hate it. So they mark price of bananas to 28 cents, which is lower than the usual 38 cents or 45 cents, something like that right now. So they drop the price, quantity demand goes up insane, so that there's no bananas for me. It happens to me. I'm like, why would you drop the price? As a result, you know what, they're actually making more money. Their total revenue is increasing. So what happens if you're dropping the price again but demand is inelastic? So demand is inelastic. This is a gas pump, but I meant gasoline. Imagine gasoline, okay? Demand is inelastic. You're dropping the price. That's not a good choice. If you drop the price, quantity demand increases. But remember, price elasticity of gasoline, we calculate it to be negative 0.06, something like that. Basically, if you increase the price of gasoline by 100%, so okay, let's not do that. So drop the price of gasoline, scratch that, by 10 percentage point, quantity demand will increase by 0.6 percentage point. It's nothing. You lost 10% of your total revenue to gain 6% of your total revenue. That's not gonna do anything. So price, you're dropping the price, quant demand is increasing but less than in absolute value, just like in this case. Price going down 10 percentage points, another force is pulling it up, just time it, 0.6 percentage points. Total revenue overall will go down. So this is why gas stations, when they drop the price, they'll actually lose money. Okay? So I am talking about all gas stations doing it at the same time. Obviously, if one gas station drops price, okay, of gasoline, every single people, you know, every single person in that town will go to that gas station. There's going to be huge lines. Okay, so obviously this is not for one gas station dropping price to create monopoly. We're talking about all gas stations when they drop. Okay, just to ensure there is no substitutes. Okay, price goes down. In this case, total revenue will go down if the demand is inelastic. Okay, this concludes our part 7.